The next step for our quince jam is the jars. We're going to be jarring our quince jam, and you're going to want to have airtight jars that seal properly. You can have a little jar if you like, or the bigger ones. There's different sizes. Depends how much of the quince jam that you prepare. Now make sure prior to using the jars that you wash them thoroughly. Soap and water. You can put a little bit of bleach as well to make sure that they're sanitized after you've washed them. Make sure you also wash the seal and the cap. And basically, I'm going to show you in a little bit how to do the jarring properly. But first of all, once you have them washed, what you want to do is actually put them in the preheated oven. You can preheat your oven to about 100 degrees if you want. It doesn't have to be overly hot because you don't want the glass to break or to burn your hands. So I preheated the oven for about 15 minutes. You want to put them in there to help sanitize the glass as well. And you want the glass to be hot when you put the quince jam inside. So I'm going to put these in the oven. You don't want the glass to be too hot, so make sure to check it first when you take it out and use oven mitts. Always use oven mitts. Now next for our quince, you're going to take a pot like this. You want to have one of the big pots, and it's a very simple recipe from here. Really, like I said before, the biggest part is cleaning the quince, washing them, peeling them, getting all of the seeds out from inside, then slicing them. And then once you have them soaking in the water, it's very important to have them soaking because it keeps them from turning brown. You want to take your quince and put it in your pot. You take them, and it doesn't require too many ingredients from here. You want to put it on a medium heat. Make sure they're drained. And quince is such a nutritious food. It's used for a variety of ailments. It's an anti-cancer food. It's a helpful weight loss food because it contains a lot of fiber. Great for weight control. It's good for diabetics. It's not a lot of sugar in it. It's been used in a lot of different ailments for people with diverticulitis. Be real careful here, a lot of water in this. You need a big pot. The one thing I love about this is that you can also share it with your friends. If you make a lot of jars of quince jam, you can share it with a lot of your friends. You can see we cut quite a bit of it. Had quite a bit to use here. And we have actually 4.5 cups. So you're going to need 4.5 cups of sliced quince. I'll put this aside. This is a little bit more. You can make another batch. And you're going to need 2 cups of water. So if you have 4.5 cups of quince, you're going to need 2 cups of water. One and a half cups of sugar. And that's all. Believe it or not, there's not much more ingredients that you really need for this recipe because quince has natural pectin. That's why it's so popular for jarring and canning and making things like marmalades and preserves and jams and jellies. It's very versatile. That's the interesting thing about quince is that it's got natural pectin that thickens the fruit. So you don't even need to go and find any special ingredients to add to this in order to make it thicken up. Now before it's ready, you're going to have to cook this on the stove on medium heat, probably for an hour. It takes about an hour. And once it's ready, about 5 minutes before, you take the juice of a lemon and you're going to sprinkle that over the top. That's going to give it its final flavor. And the reason why we wait for the end is we don't want all the lemon juice to cook off all the flavor. So all you do is just keep stirring this on medium heat until it turns a nice dark color. So right now, as you can see, the quince has got kind of a tan color. More of like a golden brown color. When it's ready, it's going to be more of an orange color. Now sometimes people cook it even longer where it becomes a very dark color. But once it's ready, the quince will have about this kind of color here. Kind of an orange color, and it'll have a nice thick consistency. That way you can spread it evenly on biscuits, on bread, on your toast in the morning. You can also sprinkle a little cinnamon on it as well. As I was saying before, it's a very healthy dish to make. The pulp especially, it's been used in stews and seafood and poultry as a flavoring base. So what they do is take the pulp many times, and you can actually purchase the pulp of the quince and use it in stews and soups. It's got so much flavor. Your house will smell just so good. And it's also a good source of minerals such as copper. It has 14% of the RDA for copper. If you're an allergy sufferer, quince is a perfect food. It's an anti-allergenic food and anti-inflammatory. So let's say you have arthritis, you have a lot of pain. Well, quince has anti-inflammatory properties. It can actually help to reduce some of the pain you may be experiencing. That's why we're using quince here on Eat Right by George. We want to use something that's just very special and very healthy that will improve how you feel, your overall well-being. So I'm going to let this boil. It does take a little bit of time. And then I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to, when I take the jars out of the oven, how to can quince properly and then how to serve it. Right here on Eat Right by George.